Ich liebe auch einfach, dass es ein durchgehendes, so eine durchgehende Timeline quasi gibt von dem Haus. Aber auch das Crunch-Video, das ist super. Das Crunch-Video ist wirklich hervorragend, aber das ist auch wesentlich zu lang. Wesentlich zu lang. Need for Speed, A Brief History. Yeah. Door Tier List Response. Oh. Ich mach mal das ist hervorragend. AI Enhanced. Das ist auch ein Thema, was mir immer mega auf die Nüsse geht, ja.
I'm mad. And bleeding. Tom and Jerry made 60 FPS.
So, Noodle ist das, was passiert. Das ist die gute Timeline von Aaron. Das ist die gute Ego-Raptor-Timeline. So, wenn Aaron nicht irgendwie Game Grumps gemacht hätte, sondern wäre bei seinen Secrolitis-Videos geblieben. Das ist die Weiterentwicklung davon. Das ist Noodle.
Using AI. Interpolating pixel art with AI. Even a simple animation can be made fluid.
This looks so disgusting.
And
Oh.
lifelike using AI. Boost your animation to 60 FPS. AI's enhance animate to 240 FPS. What Mulan would look like in 60 FPS. 5 million views. Just fuck it, right? I'm an animator. Why try? Press a button. He does it all for you. Hey Google. Animate this video.
Sure. Now playing Sorry About Your Penis.
Oh, it's
by
not what
Smash Mouth on
I just don't get it. I don't get it. This is the Mario in Unreal of animation. A complete slap in the face to the animator. I could give you several reasons. Hell, I could make a whole ass video about why this looks so bad. You know what? I think I will. I think I will. Because either I rant to you for the next 10 minutes to satisfy the goblin in my brain, or he's gonna tell me to do something far worse. Okay, let's just cover the basics. This is 24 frames a second. This is 48. Look close. You see the difference. Good job. Basically, unless you're watching a soap opera, a gaming video, or Gemini Man, most of the video you watch is displayed at the standard 24 FPS. Now, 24 frames every second sounds like a lot. Because it is. But it's pretty rare for animators to consistently create a new drawing for every single frame. Even during the most complex and fluid movements, animators will often hang on a single drawing for longer than one frame. If it's on screen for 2 frames, we call that animating on 2s. If it's up for 3, it's on 3s, 4s, and so on. There's a lot of reasons you might do this. Maybe you want to make 2 things feel different from each other, and the different frame rate helps to sell that. Maybe a low frame rate is part of the style. Maybe a character's movements are so far away that nobody's going to even notice. Maybe a choppier movement looks better with less frames. And I could go on, but you get the point. It's not just a compromise.
We did a lot of animation testing, and we found out pretty early on that in order to capture the spirit of the comic books, we'd animate on 2s, and sometimes we would hold frames for 2 or 3 frames.
When there's 24 frames a second, instead of doing all 24, you 12, and the mind fills in the gaps between them. It makes it feel more graphic. There is a clarity and a crispness in that. So we latched into that as an aesthetic that I think made it feel more like a comic book.
And here's the thing.
Ich finde das absurd. Ich muss nochmal Spider-Verse 1 nochmal gucken. Aber ich finde das irgendwie absurd, nochmal Clips aus dem Film zu sehen. Nach dem zweiten Teil. Und dann irgendwie zu denken, irgendwie so, Alter, der zweite ist einfach nochmal. Ich fand den ersten ja schon super, aber die ganzen Animationen und das Editing beim zweiten, es ist insane. Ich kann immer noch nicht glauben, dass dieser Film real ist. Das ist absolut pervers, als ob sie so jede Minute an Animation wurde irgendwie an eine andere Person gegeben, als ob so jede einzelne Szene war für irgendeinen Animator sein eigener Sakuga-Moment irgendwie. Das ist absurd. Es gibt einfach nichts an diesem Film, wo sich irgendjemand gedacht hat, ja komm, wir wir machen einfach mal gerade, das ist jetzt keine so wichtige Szene, sondern so, nein, jeder Moment in diesem Film ist einfach 120% die ganze Zeit, ohne dass es halt übertrieben wirkt oder so. Es ist immer so mit Purpose alles dahinter und so, dass es gut wirkt, auch die langsameren Szenen oder so. Aber nichts davon. Zu keiner Zeit habe ich irgendwie das Gefühl bekommen, dass da nicht 5000 Stunden drüber nachgedacht wurde, wie man diesen einen Moment auf die bestmögliche Art und Weise irgendwie darstellen kann. Also das ist krank.
Just like animating on 2s or whatever looks fine if it's done right, animating at more than 24 FPS can look great. There's nothing wrong with having more frames when the artist intends for there to be. Yes, the issue at hand isn't the prospect of HFR animation. Instead, it's this shit-ass trend I'm seeing more and more of where some degenerate with Moonbrain will take a perfectly fine animation and remaster it, that is, stick it into an AI and press render, to create new frames in between the perfectly fine existing ones. This is widely referred to as interpolation, and not only does it completely fly in the face of artistic intent, it also just so happens to completely undermine several of the most basic principles of the entire medium of animation. Seriously, there's like a whole book about this, written in the Middle Ages by the 9 guys. People call it the animator's Bible. Now, I'm not a religious
Published
man.
1981.
The book outlines what we call the 12 principles of animation. You got timing, staging, exaggeration, anticipation, straight ahead versus pose to pose, solid drawn, arcs, follow through and overlap, squash and stretch, secondary actions, appeal, and easing. I don't expect you to internalize and remember all of that, but suffice to say, all of these principles are, in their own way, extremely important to the process of crafting a good-looking cartoon. And here are the ones that the AI completely fucking ignores. Are you beginning to see the problem? Side note, if you're an animator, you should seriously buy that book if you haven't already. That's expensive. I want to buy this book, but for not expensive. If only there was some kind of program that would...
Oh no, it's Data Harvest Company, honey. Ich glaube, das kann man
coupon codes into your
hoffentlich.
shopping cart on exchange for promotion. Wow! Look how much my friend Brayden likes it.
Honey is real good.
Well, let's say I'm about to give me a nuts for this. Click send us on your /nude. Why haven't you clicked it yet? Genuinely, why not? It is free, it is not selling your info, and it is saving you money. Hobble on over to honey.com/nude.
Ja, it's not selling your info. Oh, ich frage mich, wie die ihr Geld verdienen. Ich frage mich, was deren Incentive ist. Das ist so, yo Leute, hier, Payback-Punkte. Was meinst du, wie Payback das Geld verdient?
And download it before I take action. Here's an image of a little man. He's doing very well.
Aber ich hoffe, man sieht, was ich meine, so gerade im Vergleich zum letzten Video einfach so, ja, du hast auch die Momente, wo es dann eben rausgeht, aber es ist nicht einfach dieser Ersatz für Comedy. Es ist nicht einfach dieses so, oh, ich muss jetzt irgendwie was Lustiges machen. Und jede Sekunde einfach mit irgendwie Scheiße füllen, weil, oh, wenn du nicht 12 Millionen Bilder die ganze Zeit irgendwo aufploppen hast und irgendwie die Figur schreit, dann könnte das Video ja irgendwie langsam sein. So, nein, du hast auch teilweise einfach den Humor dadurch, dass es dann zwischen den beiden einfach mal hin und her geht, dass du Pausen dazwischen hast, dass du irgendwelche zwischendurch einfach mal überraschende Segmente hast, aber das Editing auch immer on purpose ist. So, das zeigt, was gerade eben die Situation bedarf. So, wo es dann das eben braucht und nicht alle 6 Sekunden oder beziehungsweise alle 6 Frames zwischen irgendwas hin und her geht. Und wie gesagt, die Art erinnert mich einfach sehr an so ein bisschen mehr das refinete frühe Sequelitis Aaron Editing.
Oh, and I'm proud of him. He will be demonstrating 2 of the most important fundamentals of animation, timing and easing. Say we want to get him from here to here on the canvas. I could manually hand animate the man on 1s, or I could instead tell my animation software to do it for me by tweening or interpolating that movement. I have just saved myself a lot of time by doing this, and the only catch is that... Well, it looks like a computer did it.
Ich liebe diesen Joke so sehr. Der fucking Sound. Das kriegt mich jedes Mal.
Catch is that... well,
Auch noch genau die richtige Zeit abzuwarten. So halt schnell damit reinzukommen und dann aber noch kurz so 1-2 Sekunden, dass du das eben verarbeiten kannst in dem Moment, bevor es weitergeht.
looks like a computer did it. But why, though? You see, when you ask a computer to make a guy go from here to here, it sure is gonna do it, but it's gonna do it in the most simple and efficient way possible. Perfectly even, steady all the way, boring, lifeless. This is exactly what the fucking AI is doing! And unless you're literally animating a robot, you would never, ever animate something like this. Because it doesn't look good! I can tweak this motion and clean it up by hand using the interpolated frames as a baseline, and this approach will probably still save me some time, but that's my point. The tool helps, but I'm not a... well, I am a tool, but I'm the one giving life to what would otherwise be a lifeless motion. These two boys are going from one extreme keyframe to the other in the exact same amount of time, but they feel totally different. One of them was made by Dane, age 2. The AI has no concept of easing into or out of movement, and so it introduces boring, sterile timing that conflicts with what the animator intended, disrupting the flow and, ironically enough, making the motion jerkier and harder to understand. It always just looks lifeless and unnatural.
That looks so bad.
But wait! It gets worse. The issues with timing get significantly worse on animation that wasn't done entirely on ones. Let's say it's on twos. The AI doesn't smooth anything between the first and second frames of a single drawing because there's nothing to smooth. They're the same picture. This means that what was originally a perfectly fine 12 FPS animation is now a janky mess that constantly alternates between 12 FPS and a blurry, ugly 48, 4 times its original speed. It creates this awful artifact where now, instead of a few frames implying a smooth movement, a lot of frames instead imply this gross, janky one. You may not actively see that that's what's happening, but you can definitely feel it, because it feels bad. You know people get paid to do this, right? Like, In Between Animator is a job title.
Ich liebe das, ich liebe dieses Bild im Hintergrund mit der Ente, soon.
If you tell a computer to fill in the gaps, how do you think it's going to do it? You think it's going to pick up on all the little details, tiny nuances, an in-between animator at Yada, Titmouse, whatever the fuck, is getting paid to notice? Look, if I take my arm and I go like, your brain fills in the gaps. It sees the movement, and a good in-betweener should be able to fill in the gaps by emphasizing the timing, the arcs, everything. Computer don't see any of that. All it sees is a collection of JPEGs, a stupid binary game of connect the dots, and boy howdy, is it gonna connect those dots in the most boring, lifeless fucking... How do people like this? This is like ordering a $30 gourmet steak and waterboarding it in ketchup. Like taking a picture of the Sistine Chapel and putting a fucking HDR filter on it. Fix your painting, 4K remaster, 10 million views.
Alter, das ist auch so oft, wenn ich irgendwie Gameplay-Footage bei YouTube raussuche und dann immer diesen ganzen 4K, HDR und das ist einfach nichts nativ da drin aufgenommen, sondern einfach nur durch irgend so ein Post-Processing-Bullshit in der Editing-Software oder so rausgerendert. And it looks like fucking barf. Das sieht einfach aus, als ob du da mit irgendwelchen Saturation-Filtern das Ganze einfach hochgedreht hättest. Und es sieht jedes Mal so kacke aus. Und auch da, das ist dann irgendwie, ich weiß nicht, Leute sehen einfach nur, oh, da muss etwas besser sein. Okay, alles klar, ich glaube, es ist besser. Ich sitze auch jedes Mal davor und kann auch nicht, wenn diese Interpolated, irgendwie so Anime oder so, die dann in teilweise ja 12 FPS oder so dann auf den Twos animiert sind. Und dann packst du die halt in so ein simples, oh ja, ich mache jetzt einfach 60 FPS-Ding da draußen. Sieht einfach zum Kotzen aus jedes Mal. Oh. Aber ich meine, scheinbar kriegen auch Leute teilweise nicht mit, wenn sie ihr Motion Smoothing am TV anhaben. Oh. Das ist wirklich, ich war mal bei Freunden zu Gast Und da hat's mich exakt gestört, weil eben so, Alter, du spielst doch, weißt du, wenn das meine Eltern nicht mitkriegen, okay. Aber du spielst doch Videospiele, du weißt doch, wie normal gute 60 FPS oder so aussehen. Und dann war da Motion Smoothing am TV an und ich hab's einfach direkt ausgestellt. Ich hab gar nicht erst mit mir reden lassen, ich war so, nein. Ich stell das, wenn's dir eh nicht auffällt, dann lass es mich wenigstens ändern, damit ich nicht aus dem Fenster springen muss. Oh Gott. Ah. Ja, Motion Smoothing, das war, ich glaube, das erste Mal ist mir das aufgefallen, da habe ich irgendwie, was war das, dieser Equilibrium? Ist das mit Christian Bale, mit diesem Gun-Fu? Dämlicher Film. Aber da war das, glaube ich, das erste Mal, dass ich das mitgekriegt habe, dass da irgendwie so ein Motion Smoothing an war. Und ich habe auch so bei mir geguckt, das sieht falsch aus. Ich habe den Film in meinem ganzen Leben noch nie gesehen, aber ich wusste in dem Moment, das sieht falsch aus. Und habe damals eben schon diesen Soap-Opera-Effekt und sowas. Alter, das sieht aus, als ob wir gerade irgendwie so eine Reality-TV-Show, als ob wir irgendwie 2 bei Calvas oder so gucken. Was ist denn da los? Das kann doch nicht sein. Also, ich sehe da nix.
Try. Should I even try? This whole shot is interpolated. Did you even notice? Because last time I intentionally sabotaged the quality of my own work for a gag, I got half a dozen comments losing it over how smooth it apparently looked. Fuck! You know, believe it or not, I don't super enjoy being negative all the fucking time. But you know what I also don't enjoy watching an animation? It's got Vaseline all over it. You know, part of what makes 2D animation so appealing is its absolute clarity. It's the fact that you could basically pause on any frame and get a fully realized illustration. It's the kind of frame-by-frame perfection that you can't get with live action that helps to make a great animated sequence so fun to look at. Before we say it, yeah, that includes smear frames. Those are very much designed to look appealing, to clearly outline a specific motion. I mean, why else would 3D animation be doing it now? Sure as shit looks better than this. Result of feeding it into a neural network and hoping for the best.
Oh wow, look at this cool animation.
Oh,
But
that
wouldn't
leaves.
it be better if you could hardly fucking tell what was happening? I love how the Japanese and English onomatopoeia is completely unreadable. Kind of an objective improvement.
Look at this. I fed the finished man back into the AI for the hell of it, and not only did it ruin the timing and deep fry the in-betweens, it can't even figure out which part of the body is which. This is a common thing that it does. Like, Jesus Christ. And I don't buy the whole, oh, it's AI, it'll get better with time argument. First off, no, that's not how AI works. Secondly,
Yep.
even if it was, it wouldn't matter because that's not what the AI is fucking designed for. It was made for live action. There's a reason that the examples used to demonstrate the tech use live footage. There's a reason we already have interpolation built into our programs, yet we stick to 30 frames or less. We don't need more. Get this, there's actually animation software out there specifically designed to interpolate your work for you. Best example is Kakani, and it's pretty good. I can understand if your mind just did a pop shove it, considering how the entire video thus far has been about how
Man kriegt
interpolation.
mich immer mit Tony Hawk Special Trick Effekt. Every time. Ich glaube, das ist 90% der Grund, warum ich Nakey Jakey Videos mag. Ist einfach nur dieses Geräusch. Das löst bei mir sofort Endorphine aus.
And bad, but there's a couple major things that set this program apart from the AI garbage. Biggest thing? With Kakani, animators are in control. When the software works well, we can let it do its thing, and when the program goes quirky, we can course correct and tweak things until they look right, as opposed to slapping a finished product into an algorithm and going, wow, cool frame rate. It's also not designed for animating at higher frame rates. Rather, it helps create regular in-between frames on 1s or 2s or whatever to speed up the animation process. Like the little man from earlier! Oh my god, it all makes sense! Why do you think some animators working in movies and games are lowering the frame rate, not raising it? Don't you think that if HFR animation were a natural progression for the medium, everyone would be doing it? Pixar could start rendering their shit at 60 tomorrow if they wanted to. No one's stopping them. David Productions very well could have just interpolated every single movement in JoJo, and they could have done it at a higher frame rate than 24. But they didn't. Not just because it would be more trouble than it's worth, but because it would look weird and out of place. God, gamers suck. And you know it's gamers, right? Like who else cares about frame rates? It's gamers. Again. It's honestly just blatant misuse of a genuinely amazing tool. When interpolation is used to enhance sporting events or generate slow motion footage, it's amazing what it can do. It's just like any tool. When you use it right, it's very good. Jackhammer's a great tool. Just, you know, maybe not for washing your car. I can already tell. There's gonna be so many people in the comments just like, I don't care, I just think it looks better, smile. Completely missing the point that even if you prefer ketchup on your gourmet steak, it's still an insult to the chef. These remasters and enhancements fail to understand that by smothering their source material in AI, they completely undermine artistic intent. I've spoken to dozens of animators about this. I promise you, it's not just me who hates this. We all do. You know, if this is where we are with automation and AI, I don't think robots are going to be replacing us animators anytime soon.
Attention! You are being reallocated. Failure to comply will result in discipline.
Stupid Video, no like. Das Video fühle ich. Das Video fühle ich so sehr.